The next speaker is Man Band.
Mayors, five mayors, and a council member. Well, some people come here to voice their preference. And I come before you mainly because we may be facing the integrity of the city, of the committee, and maybe some legal binding. I come in a hurry, so I didn't write down what exactly I would like to say in Vietnamese. So I felt that my English is not good enough, but however, the translation without a piece of paper, with a scrappy paper like this, would be worse. So the Quảng Trị Monument Committee was created by our city, and they work for the city. They've been going out and do fundraising, and I believe that they collect more than $200,000 for a project that may exceed $500,000. That's huge. Well, during the time that they do the fundraising, the donor strongly believe that this will be a piece of property belong to the city, belong to its people. Did they lie to the people intentionally? Or under certain guidance, some people even believe that this is some kind of bait and switch. Because if this $500 million belong to the city and belong to the people of the city, then we should not transfer it to any private identity. That is, we may even, the people will lost trust in the community, in the community, and people will act, will voice. So remember, we have legal binding to make sure this piece of property belongs to the city and belongs to its people, and we are responsible to maintain it. Let's look at it this way. We may see some tax saving down the road, but should we sacrifice, should we give up that $500,000 to a private identity? Should we, or even let's say, should we give it to the next door neighbor? Should we give it to Gary Girl? No, even we transfer between the city, still we want to keep it for ourselves. So I appreciate the opportunity to be involved in this oral communication, and thank you for your time, and we wish all the successful of our city. Again, thank you so much.
The next speaker is Hong Lee. Hong Lee.
Người kế tiếp phát biểu là Lê Xuân Hùng.
Xin chào tiền truyền và anh Trị, một số tiền truyền quen rồi, cùng tất cả thầy viên và tất cả mọi người không.
Tony, our mayor, Pat, Vice Mayor Menzel, the entire city council, our city staff, as well as everyone here tonight.
Bản thân tôi tên là Lê Xuân Hùng, tên tiếng Mỹ là Henry Lee.
My name is Hong Soon Lee, or my English name is Henry Lee.
Là người Việt, là người Mỹ gốc Việt.
I am a Vietnamese American.
Mặc dù tôi đến sau một sắc dân khác nhưng cũng là người Mỹ đã đến đây.
Even though I came to this country,
Tôi đã từng là
people of all the races, I am still an American.
và tôi là một chiến binh của xã hội Mỹ.
I am a former soldier of the South Vietnamese Army.
Và đương kim tôi là hội trưởng hội đồng hương Quảng Trị.
And I am currently the president of the Quảng Trị Province Association.
Kính thưa quý vị, tôi đã phải tiếng của hai Quảng Trị đó là một phần mà bản thân người Quảng Trị của tôi đã vận động tích cực để xây dựng để tri ân vinh danh quân nhân cán bộ quân lực Việt Nam Cộng hòa.
The monument, the Quảng Trị monument, we are the people of Quảng Trị have tried to build it so that we can honor the sacrifice made by people who would have laid down their life to recapture that city.
Và rất nhiều người đã donation và họ tin rằng cái tượng đài được xây dựng trên thành phố Westminster ở một vùng đất tốt định của thành phố.
A lot of people have made contributions for the construction of the monument because they believe that the monument would be placed at a public park in the city of Westminster.
Vì vậy, tôi kính mong quý vị quan tâm, quý vị được cái phương diện là thành phố quản lý và là bảo quản đồng nghĩa là chung cái tượng đài để một nơi xứng đáng mà sau này thì thời gian tất cả những người sẽ biết được thời gian này là thời gian của quý vị đã tải tích mà chúng tôi và tượng đài được đặt trên cái vị trí của thành phố do quý vị chỉ định.
And so please pay attention to this because later generation would come to find out that the monument was placed at a public park in the city of Westminster by you who were on the council when that decision was made and when the monument was erected.
Một lần nữa kính mong quý vị quan tâm. Thầy thật cảm ơn.
Once again, thank you for your attention. Thank you.
The next speaker is Quan Nguyen.
As member of the city council and member of city staff, my name is Quan Nguyen. I'm a member of the Quảng Trị Monument Committee. America is the greatest country on earth because it is composed of many different ethnicities, each with its own unique culture and history. Over the years, millions of immigrants have come to American shore to seek freedom and opportunities. Each group has contributed to its own way to build America, and the flowers of these groups have bloomed with time to make America the beautiful. Vietnamese immigrants have arrived to the all-American city of Westminster in the last 47 years. We have worked diligently to build our American dream. We have built the city and paid taxes as citizens. We deserve to be Americans like everyone else here. We have our own culture and history, and we want the city to celebrate it with us. Last year, the city of Westminster has voted to build a Quảng Trị monument to honor both Vietnamese and American veterans for the upcoming 50th anniversary of the battle and place it on a public park where everyone can come and visit. The city has ordered the Quảng Trị Monument Committee to be formed to oversee the construction and the fundraising for the monument on a public park. This committee has in turn raised hundreds of thousands of dollars from our donors with the understanding that the monument will be built on a public park. Everything we have done so far is based on trust. Now, if the city decides to put the monument on a private location, that trust will be broken. Our donors will want their money back. This committee will lose their credibility, and the city council will lose the trust of the people who have voted for you. The Quảng Trị Monument should be placed on a public park as promised by the city. There's been a new proposal to put the monument on a private cemetery. This private cemetery will present a lot of problems for those who wish to visit the Quảng Trị Monument, especially for visitors from out of town. One is accessibility. We will lose control of what time and which day people can come to visit. A private company will now take control of when our visitors can come, and that this can be a problem for visitors, especially at night memorial services or candlelight vigil. Another problem is the cemetery itself is a place for the dead only. The Quảng Trị Monument is built to honor both the living and the dead. Vietnamese American veterans do not want to be honored in a cemetery.
Hiện nay thì những người cư dân đang lên để mà trình bày với thành phố và yêu cầu thành phố cung cấp một cái địa điểm, một cái công viên để mà đặt cái tượng đài. Một vị đó là bác sĩ đã lên phát biểu nói rằng là cái ý tưởng cho rằng là đưa cái tượng đài vào một cái nghĩa trang thì là không có được. Đa số những người Việt tới đây là đề nghị yêu cầu thành phố phải cung cấp một cái chỗ để mà có cái chỗ để mà để cái tượng đài đó. Trong đó tôi thấy có một bà Mỹ thì với cái ý kiến ngược lại không đồng ý. Vị đang phát biểu là một người nằm trong cái ủy ban xây dựng tượng đài. Nếu không có nói là như là một trong những người chủ tịch hay là phó chủ tịch của cái ủy ban xây dựng tượng đài vậy đó.
So from that day, we put our effort to do many things for the fundraiser, for the media, and to contribute our.
Họ nói rằng là thành phố đã hứa hẹn là sẽ cho cái miếng đất để mà xây dựng tượng đài đặt lên đó, rồi từ đó thì họ đã gây quỹ, đã được gây quỹ.
So the past couple of days, I spoke with some American veteran and also the Vietnamese veteran who very much disappointed when we put the monument inside the Westminster Memorial Park. You know what? Because we fight for freedom. We fight for our Vietnamese, South Vietnam, and also for the historical.
Ông nói là chúng tôi rất là thất vọng. Chúng tôi đã từng chiến đấu cho miền Nam, Việt Nam.
With myself and other people feel so bad. And also, I do the fundraising for the Quảng Trị Monument the past couple of months. Our daughter didn't the monument on the Westminster City public land, public park, but now it's different.
Lúc đầu thì hứa rằng là chúng tôi được để cái tượng này ở trong một cái công viên công cộng, mà bây giờ thì đã khác rồi. Đại khái là một số cư dân Mỹ đó là hiện nay đang là chống lại cái ý tưởng là cho tượng đài này nằm ở trong cái công viên tự do, tức là công viên mà có tượng đài chiến sĩ Việt Mỹ đó, hoặc là tất cả những công viên khác ở trong thành phố.
To recap the quantity still, so that way we don't want to lose this historical property, the asset of the city of Westminster. We don't want to lose the control of the monument to the private owner, private association. So we simply do not put our quantity monument in the Westminster Memorial Park, because I spoke with some American veteran a couple days ago. He satisfied with us that he also didn't want to put the quantity monument in the Westminster Memorial Park. They want to put on the public land, and any people can come to visit, to pray, to commemorate, to certify for our country, and also for the freedom, not just for Vietnam and also, but also for everywhere in the world. Please do not put very much word on the historical monument in the cemetery, because cemetery just for the dead people, not for monument to honor.
Ông một lần nữa ông cũng yêu cầu là đừng có đưa cái tượng đài vào trong một cái nghĩa trang, tại vì nghĩa trang là để cho người chết, còn cái này là chúng tôi dùng cái chỗ này để mà tượng đài là để vinh danh các chiến sĩ.
The next speaker is Robert Carson.
Mayor Cobb, Vice Mayor Mansell, and the rest of the City Council. I am for the Quantity Monument and all the admirable things that have been said about it. And for all those that pay the ultimate price, American
Tôi là một người ủng hộ cho cái tượng đài.
Your questions should be many, starting with the historical accuracy of the depiction that's being presented to you. The monument is not historically accurate. It wasn't open to the general public, and American Vietnam veterans are still being discriminated against. We did try to meet. It took me 3 weeks from the last city council meeting to even force the meeting. I had to use the city staff to make the meeting happen so we could talk with 5 people. We talked, and it is really not a democratic process. We voted at the last Quantity Monument Committee to present you a depiction today. I hope you take it, it's good. The one thing, it was 10-2 against all the patches being recognized properly for America and Vietnam.
Ông người Mỹ này cũng là một người ủng hộ cho cái tượng đài chiến sĩ, cái tượng đài tái chiếm của thành Quảng Trị.
But we did. With the vision and above on the front being applied only to Americans. It's a double standard. I'm going to give you an example. It was mentioned here, 20 American advisors were in Quảng Trị on the ground. At least 12 of them gave their life. And most recently, a patch was added for the Vietnamese advisors who were not there, they were in Saigon. And it doesn't make sense. We were supposed to honor both the Americans and the Vietnamese. But there may be a solution tonight. Concerning 7.3, potential location of the Quảng Trị Monument, there's an answer looking us straight in the face. The Parks and Community Services did an extremely great job representing all the citizens of Westminster, and overwhelmingly, the comments against placement in a public park were 100 to 1. The council needs to respect all citizens. With the staff's report, the agenda 7.3, location, there seems to be only one choice. With 4 parks selected, including Freedom Park, there's overwhelming negatives that would be enhanced by placing the Quảng Trị Monument in a public park. The Quảng Trị depiction and design is extremely too large, will add further to the homelessness, drugs, vandalism, and liability to the city for personal injuries. Its design and main structure and the gap between it represents the city liabilities waiting to happen. The Westminster Police Department will be relieved of an increase in service calls with the monument being placed in Westminster Memorial Park. Placing the monument in Westminster Memorial Park will save an estimate of $6,500 annually. City cost maintenance. It will also take away the liability for personal injury. It will take away the bite of Van Tran's furthering his lawsuit against the city. Placing the monument in Westminster Memorial Park will be secured at night with no further cost and liability to the city. This is a non-selfish, no-brainer. It's going to be accessible to all people coming to Westminster. It's not going to be limited because it's in a private property. Not placing the Quảng Trị Monument in the ideal location because of some 50-year September 22nd, 22 anniversary. It disrespects the city, the entire city. There's more people here that need to be represented.
The next speaker is Senator Raines.
Đây là một vị chống lại cái quan điểm về cái tượng đài đó. Bà tên là Terry Rand.
Permitting the retroactive modification of the compensation structure. The city must stop violating basic contract law. Agreements must be executed before the effective date. Item 5.2, the staff's research on commercial cannabis. Any new local taxes on retail cannabis must be approved by the voters. There is no increase in crime near legal dispensaries. The city should allow limited retail cannabis to help grow revenue while imposing strict regulations that will lessen the concerns of residents. Item 5.3 is staff's research on short-term rentals. Airbnb has banned and disrupted parties, open invite gatherings, and large one-night events, and the city should do the same. Restrictions imposed by Main Speech, Convention, and Data Point offer more ideas.
Bà sợ không có đủ thời giờ để đọc cho nên bà đọc nhanh quá.
Any TOT increase must be approved by the voters. Westminster is not a party destination, but we do have a unique demographic that would rent STRs here, friends and family of our Vietnamese residents visiting from Vietnam or other states who wish to stay together in one home. The city should allow STRs to help grow revenue while imposing strict regulations that will lessen the concerns of residents. Item 7.2 is the Quảng Trị Monument design. Some progress was made at the mini meeting on June 29th, but no full consensus. Kenny Hong, Paul Lee, and Quan Wan wrongly opined that everything was final after that meeting before the full committee and this council even voted. Again, they submitted key agenda reports just 4 hours before the start of the July 5th meeting. Members refused to take the mandatory free online ethics training, constantly violated the Brown Act, and cost the city resources to hold an in-person training. Even then, 4 members have still not complied. Changes need to be to the base front include 1, add the word and in between forces and the. 2, replace a with paid the ultimate sacrifice. 3, add the English translation of tu Kukian, either grateful country or national gratitude. 4, remove the English title above the Vietnamese title. 5, remove the word monument from the title. 6, apply rules equally to both countries for emblems. Must be division and above and have directly participated at Quảng Trị. So either A, remove 6 to 7 Vietnamese emblems from the front and list them on the back that are not division and above or did not fight in this battle directly, or B, remove 5 of those 7 emblems, list them on the back and add a United States advisor and 2 helicopter squadron emblems on the front for a total of 18, 9 United States and 9 South Vietnamese. 8, the U.S. Navy, Marine Corps, and Army emblems look slightly different than those on the Department of Defense website, so please verify their accuracy. 9, who will obtain Department of Defense approval for the U.S. emblems. I presented staff with over 30 red line edits to the narrative at the July 5th meeting, and they had to convince members the edits were necessary by going over each one. Staff incorporated most in today's version, but not all. Number 1, United States, and the word United States must be spelled out and the word the in paragraph 7 removed. 2, Arvin First Corps should reflect the Roman numeral 1, aka capital I, per the emblem and all historical references, paragraphs 3, 4, and 11. And 3, United States should be credited in paragraph 8. The battle was to retake Quảng Trị City, not the Citadel. The Citadel was the symbolic asset where the final fight took place. The Citadel was renamed Dinh Quan Trong Citadel in 1955, so the title and narrative should actually use that name to be historically accurate. The Citadel history related to the dimensions is inconsistent, and the reported height of 4 meters, about 13 feet, should be 9.4 meters, about 30 feet, to include the pagoda on the top, per Vietnamese and American sources. Casualty list edits: 1, add combat or military to the title since no civilian losses are listed. 2, add north and south to aid visitors. 3, remove country estimate sources or put it on all. 4, use ranges, not exact numbers. 5, remove Arvin breakdown of Marines and Airborne. And 6, provide sources and further vet. Participant list edits: 1, remove the word respective from the title. 2, add Citadel to the title or remove it from everything. 3, check references to First Corps using the Roman numeral I, 1. And 4, provide sources and further vet. Item 7.3 is potential locations for this monument. This feasibility study proves the only viable location is the new area of the Westminster Memorial Park or on private property along Bolsa, which is not even mentioned. Council, you must listen to staff, and more importantly, the people that you serve, the residents of this city. 100% of the almost 100 public comments from Vietnamese, Hispanic, and Caucasian residents alike at various cities meetings have all emphatically argued that this monument does not belong in any city park, period. 3, maybe 4 of you are running for mayor, so you'd better listen to the residents and do the right thing here, and also vote to put the tax measure on the ballot, or I promise you, we will make this campaign season a living hell for you, and you can bank on that. Thank you. Let us vote.
The next vote is, the next speaker is Tim Hogan.
They're booing again. Can you ask them to not boo?
Yeah, I would like to remind everyone, so please keep everything peacefully. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Mayor Todd, City Council, City Staff. Good evening. My name is Tim Hogan. I've been a resident of Westminster for over 35 years. I rise to speak with you about the need for the tax measure to be placed on the November ballot. I grew up in Hawthorne, California, a little town off the 405 just beside the LA airport, home of the beach place. It was a wondrous place to be a child and idyllic life, but it didn't last. The town did not survive an onslaught of rapid change in the 1970s. And what had been a charming town of character quickly deteriorated to a land of blight and crime. I wish to speak with you this evening of this rapid deterioration. The local forces that assailed the town of my youth are substantially different from those set to afflict my city today. The rapidity of the change will be the same, and the end result may be even more catastrophic. And once set upon this immutable course, recovery may prove nigh impossible. Should this council choose to ignore the pending financial calamity and opt to deny the people the opportunity to decide if the continuance of the tax is in their best interest, we may find ourselves on a path every bit as calamitous as so many fear. You must make the wise choice to protect what we have, to buy ourselves time and the opportunity to find alternate methods of revenue. As was said here just a few short weeks ago, we need to keep the lights on so we have the opportunity to find our solutions. The options this council will discuss this evening, cannabis revenue and short-term leasing, may prove a valued start, but they are only a start. We cannot hope to plug the gap with these limited sources of revenue. And until we can, at last, put aside the trivial that has consumed us and take up the true issues of our day, we must provide temporary stopgaps to see us through. That's what this tax should be, a temporary stopgap, intended to ease our way to a sustainable future. For if we fail to address this issue, the path we will find ourselves upon runs downhill and is strewn with slippery rocks. And though the fallout shall rain upon us all, the least among us will be the most at risk. For make no mistake, no one will escape the ruin. In varied measure it will affect us all, and none shall be immune, no matter what our standing or station. I take heart that at least my children will be safe. They're grown and moved away. But what of yours? Can you accept this risk? Consider for a moment the impact of the budgetary cuts outlined in the staff analysis from just a few short weeks ago. Reductions in city staff across the board, deteriorating parks and streets, unchecked homelessness, trash piling up, graffiti everywhere. Add to this significant cuts in our police force. The list is endless, and with each retraction, yet another problem will be revealed, a situation more intractable than the labors of Hercules. It is said that the thin blue line of the police stands between society and the descent into violent chaos. And much as I respect what our police force does for us, I'm certain Chief Lanier and his officers would agree there's a more important line that protects us, a first line of defense against disorder. That line is so simple as the man with a paint bucket and a roller who clears away the graffiti from our lives, with order crews who clean the parks and fill the potholes. Those who keep us proud of our surroundings do a great service in keeping us engaged with our little town. I implore you to act in the interest of your children, if for no one else. You cannot escape the judgment of the future, and your success or failure will light you down in honor or dishonor. The latest generation. You must disenthrall yourselves from a blind adherence to stale political dogma and grant the people the opportunity to decide their own fate. Let the people decide. For when you have wisely chosen to let the chorus of the people proclaim its interests, then perhaps we will hear again the music of the spheres. Perhaps it will be the harmonious sounds of the Beach Boys. For God only knows we need some good vibrations here.
The next speaker is Roger Linder.
Vị này trước khi phát biểu cũng đi một cái động tác rất lạ.
Smaller than the footprint of this proposed concrete monument. 34 feet by 30 feet by 30 feet high. And then you start like that, but kind of winging it. So, I am Roger Linder, a resident of Westminster. You should only be considering the city as a whole, the whole of all residents. This concrete monument should never have been a city entity in any way, shape, or form. It has nothing to do with the city of Westminster. Zero historical significance to the city of Westminster. You can have your monument, but make no mistake, it's your monument, not mine. You should pay for 100% of it, including all maintenance and cleaning. Public land, is just as much mine as any other.
Vị này nói rằng là quý vị muốn có tượng đài thì cứ có tượng đài quý vị. Nó chẳng liên quan tới thành phố của chúng tôi cả. Cho thấy đây là một người phản đối cái vấn đề đặt tượng đài ở trong thành phố Westminster. Cái đó này, cái tượng đài này cần phải là một cái dự án cá nhân ngay từ đầu, chứ đừng có mà đưa vào thành phố của chúng tôi.
So many council meetings, all of these illicit commission committee meetings. How many speakers tonight are members of this?
Quá nhiều những cái buổi họp của thành phố, của các cái hội đồng của thành phố, của các cái ban của thành phố, rồi bao nhiêu người phát biểu ngày hôm nay nữa.
All the documented egregious Brown Act violations and ethics training, obviously, by so many instances of Brown Act and ethics violations should have been canceled long ago. This entire process from beginning to end has been completely atrocious. I'm sure my words will anger many people here.
Tôi
No disrespect to anyone.
biết rằng là cái lời của tôi sẽ làm rất nhiều người giận dữ ngày hôm nay, nhưng mà tôi không còn một chút tôn trọng gì nữa. Xin hãy tôn trọng những cái ý kiến của chúng tôi. Và ông chỉ vào cái cờ nói đây chỉ là cái lá cờ Mỹ kia mới là cái chính là cái tượng đài duy nhất mà tôi cần. Hãy chấm dứt tất cả những cái vấn đề tượng đài. Ở đây.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, council members. Who've been working hard for the city of Westminster. I came here to recall you many times, and the only thing I raised concern is about efficiency of this city. What does it mean, efficiency? That means we have waste. You all waste the money of the taxpayer for many things that wish not to be, should not to be waste. For example, some of you bring up the measure C to stop.
No, sir, just you want to be careful not to campaign or.
Yes, that's right. This is
half by 11, Christian.
This is the past, and it is waste our money, and this is part of my money. Okay, and people money put in for taxpayer, and then you bring it up, try to take out the vote right of the people, and 60% of the people say, no, you are wrong. We have to protect our vote for the city mayor, because if you vote for a city mayor, he or she will be responsible for all the things that he makes decisions along with his city council. So you should not go backward. 30 years ago, Westminster already had voting for mayor, and now you try to go backward. Do not vote for city mayor.